Okay, I wanted to show you guys the before of this pumpkin. I just washed it up. It was cracked. I found it in my old supplies and it's cracked all the way down. This is like an old cookie jar. Somebody made it and I think their initials are right there. I don't really know. So it's like a symbol that's carved in the bottom. So this is definitely like a handmade piece. Not sure how they made it, but I end up gluing it back together. As you can see, I used E6000. It's held up pretty well. Well, for some reason, it started to expand, as you can see, as it dried. Down here, it stayed together pretty well. I probably should have put some tape, but the top two areas, you can see, started to split. I don't really want to take it back apart just to glue it back together again. So I am making the choice of, I washed it up, it's clean, ready to go. I'm going to spray paint the whole piece. I don't think I'm going to do the bottom just because I want to leave this little symbol, you know, looks bad. So I'm going to spray paint the whole thing black, the entire piece. We're going to do it black, and then I'm going to do a little hand painting word on the front here. I think I'm just going to put the letters B-O-O. It'll say boo. I'm not entirely sure if I am going to do that, but I think that'll be a really fun piece. I got the inspiration from Ray Dunn, so I probably will do that type of handwriting because I really like the Ray Dunn look, but the pumpkins are really expensive, so I obviously don't want to buy one. We could just make our own with this broken pumpkin that I had in my stash. So I went ahead and actually made the executive decision to not paint this black. So a lot of you guys probably were screaming like, why? The beautiful design in this, I absolutely love it. I do want to paint it though. I am deciding because I don't really want so many like dark pieces. I don't have a lot of like fun pieces. I'm gonna go ahead and actually paint this a very pastel mint color, like this really chalky dusty white with like a tint of a green in it, if that makes any type of sense. It's gonna be so pretty. I don't think I'm gonna paint any words on it now. So yep, I totally changed my mind last minute. So this pumpkin, I'm definitely gonna go ahead and spray paint the pumpkin. I'm kind of over how it looks, so let's go ahead and choose a color now. Now that I kind of know what my theme is gonna be this year, I think I'm gonna either spray paint this a light pink or a light mint. So these are my options. I have this Gloss Ocean Mist color. So pretty. It's this really pretty, I don't know, like just a pastel mint. And then I also have this one is called Ballet Slipper. We have Krylon or Rust-Oleum. I think I'm gonna go ahead with the Rust-Oleum one. Kind of coming out a little weird. There we go. I will paint the stem with acrylic paint, so I'm not too worried about painting it right now. Okay, I got my first coat on. I'm gonna let that dry and then possibly go back in with the second coat. Okay guys, so I brought this project in and for some reason, like we already know when I glued it together it was cracked, and that the main reason was to spray paint it, hopefully covering up that crack, but you can still see it. But I'm not really gonna be like, you know what I mean, like I'm not that mad at repairing the piece and spray painting it. I think I'm gonna work with the crack, and I'm gonna create these really beautiful stitches kind of going across this crack on both sides. I think I'm gonna use some type of string. I'm not sure what color yet. I'm thinking like I might just use like twine, like a hemp cord. I'm not really sure. Obviously I won't be able to like drill holes and string it through, so I will just cut pieces and simply just glue like little pieces across and make it look like it's stitched together. So I think that'll be a really nice touch. Give it like a spooky looking vibe, but also really pretty pastel. Not really pastel. So this is pastel right now, but I'm really going for like a muted tone. I don't mind this color at all. I really like it, but I think I'm going to add a little bit more detail into these crevices. So I am going to get some gray paint, and I'm going to mix a little bit of like a mint color with it, just so it still has this color and it doesn't go too gray or anything. I'm going to go over these cracks with the acrylic paint, and I'm hoping that will really like push this detail out a little bit better. So let's get started with that. Alright, so I'm first going to go ahead and do the paint job situation, where I'm going to be adding a little bit more detail in these cracks. So I'm going to be mixing my own gray with black and white. These are both from Dollar Tree. I'm just going to simply squeeze a little bit of black and then a lot more white, so the black doesn't take over anything. So here is like my mixture. Gonna mix this together and create like a really pretty gray. As you can see, it is a darker gray, so that's why I wanted to add more white. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit more white in here. Oops. So this should really lighten up that gray. Get a really nice light gray. Now I'm going to add this mint color. I got this from Hobby Lobby. It was on sale. I think I paid like $2.50 or something for it. But I'm just going to add in some mint. Nothing too crazy. Just to give it a mint tone. We want like a gray mint tone. That'll really bounce or, you know, vibe with our piece right here. So that is like a muted color. This is so pretty. I'm loving this color. It kind of looks gross, but honestly, this is perfect for what I'm doing. Now, I don't really want to use a chunky, huge brush like this to do all these fine little detail works. So I'm actually going to be using a little detailing brush like this, as well as one that looks like this. So this one really will be like, you'll dip it in the paint, and I'm going to go ahead and start right here and just kind of drag it down the line. And then you can like buff it out like that. You can use your finger, but you can see here I just used my finger and it just smeared it right off. So using the brush to lightly buff it out, I think is really going to help give that detail. And it doesn't need to be perfect or anything, because, I mean, why would we have a perfectly straight line? You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to go ahead and start doing the detail work in this pumpkin. Again, all the way down. We want it like here to here. And then we're like buffing it out, kind of blending it into the sides. Do you see what I'm doing here? See how the detail, like, it looks so much better with just adding a little bit of darkness into this ridge. And if you see any areas where the spray paint, the previous spray painted job, like, didn't cover, you can actually just take this color and go over it like this. And just like, again, we're buffing it out, we're blending it in. It's not that deep. So I'm going to go through and do like just random lines, rub some of it off like this, so you don't really see a lot of it. So basically I'm just going to go all the way around and do that before I glue on my pieces here. Okay, so I'm all done doing the detail work. I just took the paint and went in here and like smeared it out with the brush, took my fingers and wiped some of it off. And I went in and did like every little teeny crevice all the way around. When I got to the crack, I just overloaded it with the darkness. Honestly, it kind of blends in. There was like a spot here. I just took some paint and dabbed it there to give it like a little unique moment. This top part just happened to be spray painted like that. So I went ahead and left it. I think it looks really nice. I'm not going to change that around. And then the same with this other crack. So now I think I'm going to go in and do my little stitches on over the cracks. So I'm going to start with this twine here. This is called natural jute or twine, whatever you want to call it. I got it from Hobby Lobby. I used a coupon on it. Only paid like $2 and some odd change. And you get about 243 feet in this. So I'm going to just take this and I'm putting it right up to here of the length I want it. And I'm just going to cut literally that piece off. So this little teeny piece, I'm going to end up gluing right here. I'm going to glue it with hot glue, but I'm going to obviously cut out my pieces real quick. Now, while I am waiting for my hot glue to warm up, I'm going to use the leftover paint that I have mixed up, and I'm going to paint this little pumpkin. So I always like to use the paint up, not let it go to waste. So, and I already know, like, I really like this color, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop it on here. You can see it's like this mint gray tone. It is so pretty. And this is just a foam pumpkin I got from Target a couple years back. But at this point, I am going for a different theme this year. So I am gonna be painting a lot of my pumpkins I have. So this is very just quick and simple, and we're using the excess paint up, so this is good. Alright, I think I'm gonna go ahead and hold the stem now, get this bottom area covered up. This is such a pretty color. I'm obsessed with it. I'm gonna let this dry, and it may or may not need another coat. If it does, I mean, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to mix up this exact color. So, I don't know. Now, I feel like I still have enough paint to go ahead and paint another one. So, I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera. Okay, my hot glue gun has heated up and is ready to go. So, what I'm going to do is take one of my strands and literally, I'm going to try not to get my finger. Put it on the strand, the glue on the strand. And then place it at an angle or however you like across the crack. And it should adhere fairly quickly. This surface is kind of sticky, so the glue should hold pretty well. I have my setting on high just to be safe. I plan on doing about 10 strings all the way down on each side, so this should go pretty fast, pretty simple, easy fix. And I literally got this piece out of the trash because it was broken. I'm now repairing it and making it a really fun, unique piece of decor. And if you wanted to add a little bit more detail, you could go in and use a Sharpie and kind of fill out around the string so it looks like there's a hole that is present. And you can see I did different lengths of the little twine here. Obviously wouldn't recommend putting food directly on the container, especially with the crack. You might actually get bugs and stuff like ants that might come up through. So what you can do is line the inside. If you do want to use this as food, you can line the inside with like a plastic bag of some sort, something that's gonna protect your food, and you could glue it around the top, and then the inside would be all with plastic. And then you can put your food and stuff inside of that. However, when it comes time to cleaning it, you can just take the bag out and throw it away and replace it. Alright, so this is kind of what it looks like so far. I got it from the bottom to the top, top to the bottom, both sides here, down this crack. So now, as I said, you can go in with like a Sharpie and color in. I'm going to show you what that looks like. Okay, so I got a Sharpie here, and this will just add a little bit more detail to the overall piece and the feel of, you know, like that this is going into like a hole. I'm going to color like the end of it. Far away, it's going to look like this is threaded through, but really it's not. So I'm just trying to shape like a circle shape around the piece of twine. And I am coloring jar as well as the twine. So that's what it looks like. Looks like it's being strung through, doesn't it? Just adding that little detail. Okay, so here is the finished holes that I made, and it looks like it is strung through the entire piece. I think it turned out really good, especially for an item that was going to be thrown in the trash. It's now a really unique home decor piece that you can display anywhere, and I really hope this does inspire you guys to not just throw things out, that you can always upcycle them and turn them into something new, just with a little creativity and some supplies. And here we have this really unique pumpkin. And if you even wanted to, you can customize this even more, and you can paint like words across it, you know, right here that say like spooky cookies, or whatever you want to use this for, because you know you can put stuff in it. And if you don't want to use it for food, you can use it for holding other things, whatever you want to hold it. You could even take this off and fill this with like a vase filler, and then put like some floral, some succulents, whatever you want coming out of the top, and have this as like a flower arrangement piece. So again, you can customize it however you want to customize your piece that you were possibly going to throw away. So, I mean, you guys probably won't have anything like this, but maybe you do and you're about to throw away a broken pumpkin. This is what you can do with it. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video.